In the spring of 2017, the Stetson Law Veterans Advocacy Clinic received an application for assistance from a neighbor who lived just down the street from the school named Karla. Her husband was a Marine vet suffering from health conditions as a result of drinking contaminated water from the water supply at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, where he was stationed in the late 1950s.
My husband was in the Marine Corps about 1955 to 1958, something in that range, and he got Parkinson's disease about 1999 was when he was diagnosed. He was at Camp Lejeune, which was key, as it turned out, because subsequently there began to be newspaper articles about dirty water in Camp Lejeune, and many people getting various illnesses as a result.
They had previously applied for help from the VA but had been denied.
They would say his ailment is not service-connected. Because I live right here in the neighborhood, I saw the Stetson University Veterans Help, and also my neighbor on the opposite corner told me that his brother had received help from you.
In January 2017, right after we received Karla's application, the VA published a new rule which creates a presumptive service connection for certain medical conditions that scientists had finally tied to chemical contamination in the water supply at Camp Lejeune. It's called the Lejeune Water Act. After reading Karla's application, it was clear that her husband, Joe, was suffering from several of these conditions.
There were quite a number of categories such that would go along with Parkinson's disease, such as fatigue, shaking, falling, all these different things. And either they would say denied or they would say pending, but they would not make a decision in his favor.
We immediately picked up the phone and called Karla. She told us about her daily struggles with her husband's conditions and how she, as a retiree and Joe's full-time caregiver, was worried about looking for a part-time job because of the financial burden that they had been facing for so many years. Professor Simcox offered the clinic's help, and I volunteered to be the student on the case. I contacted a few other Marine veteran students and faculty members, and then we all met Karla and Joe at their home the very next day. During our meeting, Joe told us about his unit, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, where he served as a machine gunner, about the time he spent playing on the Marine Corps' baseball team, and his service under legendary Marine, then Colonel Chesty Puller. It was an honor for us to meet Joe and learn about his time in the Corps. It was obvious that Joe was very ill, so his case became my first priority. With Professor Simcox's guidance, I was able to gather evidence from decades of medical records, write letters in support, appeal the VA's negative decisions, and file new claims for several conditions that Joe should have been treated for. And unfortunately, due to his very serious health issues related to Camp Lejeune water, Joe passed away in May 2017. A few months later, the VA notified us that Karla will receive the benefits her husband's service earned for the rest of her life. The Stetson Law Veterans Advocacy Clinic gives so much to everybody involved, day in and day out. Any kind of clinical, legal experience is important to a law student's education, but being able to use that training immediately to help our veterans, whether they're across the country or right down the street, is an experience like no other.
That was a cherished memory, I'm sure, for Joe, having his new Marine friends come over and pay their respects to him and really have a conversation with him and ask him questions. It was really a blessing.